See, most people think, or y'all act like you burning something on the stove, you got to go get up and get it. You got to go fix that. I can just add some water to it. It'll be all right. Oh, I dropped a candle on the floor. Let me hurry up and get it before it burn up the carpet. I speak in ways that go over people's heads, yo. And I know I do. But that just shows the level of attention span that you have. Like, Divine don't need you out here trying to do everything. Divine wants you to know that you're connected to the things that do everything. Don't let this go over your head. Y'all trying to do everything by being controlled by the system of things that think it can do everything. But Divine telling you, you are connected to the actual law that does everything. So most people are in this understanding of where they are locked in the mind to where they have to see it as a value of belief. So you got to see the biggest person. You got to see the most handsomest or the most gorgeous woman. You got to see the most accomplished. You got to be first, second, or third. I've been talking about this shit for Adine, yo. Go back to incremental science, yo. I got over 1,300 videos up here. Listen, man. Divine don't care about what the hell going on as long as you deal with Divine with that. And know that Divine is fair. 3 laws of divinity. Divine is fair, unconditional, and the creator of all things good, bad, and indifferent. So this means a lot. Nobody's going to walk over nobody. It'll be fair. Creations can come into this world. That's the creational aspect. And everything that you want to do will be done by the hand of the Most High or the energy of. Period. You can't jumble that up. You can't jumble that up. You can't be like, I'm going to treat something unfair and use the power of Divine to do so. In what world? I'm just going to go over here and beg for forgiveness and it'll be all right. In what world? Divine is fair. I always like to say, anybody who's been around me heard me say this shit 1,000,001 times. Learn the lesson before Divine got to teach you. Because if you can learn the lesson, that's like, I know how you clean up or I know how you like to move. So instead of having you come through, do everything, I'm playing a role. I'm helping because I know exactly what you want to do. And see, that's why I was speaking about the other day when I said there's people who listen, and there's people who listen to what is being said, and they try to use that to fit the way they want to do things. That's disobedience. Regardless of how you cut it, how you want to see it, if you think you authority over me or whatever, I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, you will pay. We all do, until we learn how to walk right. And you will constantly stay in this, what they call a whirlwind of situations that are conglomerately, excuse me, you will stay in this whirlwind of situations that are consolidating in a conglomerate and crushing into, it's like having so much shit you don't know what to do with it. You just got stuff everywhere. You just got stuff for no reason. You got extra stuff. Your mind can't even start to focus. Divine starts cluttering your mind with the value until you get weak on these understandings. I can't speak on how Divine does everything, but I know for the most part, everything that the Divine does is in the purpose of one or two things: to let you understand where you messed up at, or to rise you out of what you messing up. One or the other. Especially if you're unaware, you're gonna come up out of that. And you gotta know this as people. You gotta understand that. Stop letting people tell y'all what Divine is. Stop letting people tell you that everything has a name on it. And I did a whole video a minute ago, probably a couple months ago, when I was telling y'all that y'all got to understand what y'all be talking about when y'all speaking through these certain frequencies with these words. These are vibrations we're speaking, putting different emotional context on the end of them. So majority of the time when people talking, they don't even know what the hell they be talking about. because you're using this whole dialect. So the sincerity of your heart gotta be real, yo. The sincerity of your heart gotta be real. So there's two values. There's you going in disobedience, which is gonna fail, because the greatest disobeyer still works for the divine. You know what I'm saying? This is where these other fractions come into existence, but they're all there just to learn lessons, because some energies will go astray. You know what? Like, if you naturally just a part of the divine, you automatically think that you the ish, right? You like, yeah, I came in this world, I'm the ish. I can do whatever I want. Divine be like, no, you can't, and you won't. And I'll show you that you can't and you won't. And then that level has to be tested. And then to make what you are bloom, to make the worst part of you come to fruition, you know what divine does? Allows. Good, bad, and indifferent. Because the ultimate judge to the situation will get a chance to see that merge into what it's going to be, and then I can let you ride this out to make you believe that you are what this is at your height, and then bring you down to nothing. This is divinity. You're going to serve the Most High whether you want to or not, or you're going to pay for it. Me knowing that I'm connected to the natural order of the law of the universe, the natural order of things. I am the natural order of things. Things work in my favor when I follow the natural order of my makeup. It's not about what people think. If I get outside in nature and I'm absorbing the light, and I can go all day and I ain't had nothing to eat, and I get up and I'm like, yo, I gotta remember to go eat, but my body not hungry. So it's like, what is in my mind making me go do things that I don't really need for my body? The situations get deep, especially when it comes to protecting yourself and understanding love and the concept of everything that you're supposed to be doing. Majority of the time, people don't look at none of that. They're trying to do it. You're going to be the one that does it. What I know is, this is something that nobody's ever going to take. The more I sit still and give myself to the divine, the more the divine gives back to me. And y'all don't have a clue what's going on in my head right now. What? The experiences I've been having for the last few days, and they've been subtle, but they've been so subtle, like on time. I'm like, I just watched this happen. And I would get deeper into this comfortability of being silent when I'm noticing these things. Just being more still when I'm noticing. It's like, just so I can focus on that show a little bit more. But what I know is, I'm relinquishing me wanting to do it. It's so many things I could have did, I could do. Nah, divine, like, man, just chill out. And I'm like, divine, these energies, this, that, and the third. I need to do this. But you feeling all that because something has to be worked in order. Something has to be worked out. So I know, I'm now knowing not just as that I'm a trap or was the trap for certain things that get caught up in. I'm also a catalyst in change. With my energy being around, knowing I'm going to do the right thing with regardless. It's like saying you put somebody in a situation that's going to do the right thing no matter what's, not even if the people around you know that you're going to do the right thing. You didn't have a conversation with nobody saying, yo, I'm going to do the right thing all the time. You never had a conversation with nobody like that. But then you get placed in these situations where everything coming around you is speaking on what they believe you to be. Oh, don't trust this type of person. Oh, I think this about this person. They just steady running their mouth constantly about an individual. Think you don't know. But divine placed you there because you are the direction of divinity. So you stay there. So therefore, when it is your turn to move, your emotions are divine. Period. It has nothing to do with how you know this or who told you that or whatever. If you a real chosen one, a real divine seed, you really out here representing the spirituality, you like me on some shit, you don't talk to nobody. You be by your dolo. So how could you be talking to anybody? How could you be connected to anybody? They want to know how you know. Don't worry about how things that somebody know. Just know if you connected to divine, you'll know some things for yourself too. It'll be for you, specifically for your existence, so therefore you can speak to people. Therefore, you can guide or you can convert some energy that's going in the wrong direction. You know, I never asked for a lot of things that happen to me, and people never chose to even think, you know what, let me just do right by them. They didn't think that. And what I knew about the world is, the harder you do the right thing in the world, the more the world go against you. So I knew this as a child, putting that into categories of how many different circumstances that can possibly be, never would even think. So the formulations, they have to be acclimated to a value to where they're always on time to sit there to try to prove a value, and it's wrong because that's its job. But the less amount of people that hold on to that way of thinking that just come over to the light, then these probabilities will die off on itself. This is why you need strength and divinity in certain situations. When you got some little Napoleon motherfucker around here acting like they run the fucking world, somebody needs to stand up and speak at that moment. Somebody needs to shut down that energy at that moment. Every single time that energy comes up, somebody needs to speak on it. Somebody needs to stand to it. It ain't got nothing to do with being the biggest, the baddest, or whatever have you, all this shit. Do the right thing. Stand with divine and test everything. I don't give a shit what it is or who they come from, how close you think you... If they wrong, they wrong. Test it. Stand on that. No, y'all easily manipulate it, and you test the good. You test what divine got in this motion. People be like, yo, how you know? Because I shouldn't be alive right now. The things I went through, look. I don't know if y'all can see that right there. See that right there? 6 inches of glass, this long, in my brain, stabbed in my head. I believe my father had everything to do with that. I believe within his set of people, somebody set that shit up. I don't believe that shit happened randomly. Because I didn't even know that person. You know what I'm saying? And it's just something that happened. But I ain't going to speak on that as a story. I'll tell y'all the story later. But so many things that happened to me, I had to put it in perspective why. And then I would like try to knit back my understanding for things. But then me being young, I didn't understand. I'm thinking my little involvements did these things. And it was never that, because I've always been a good dude in the worst situations. But what I started understanding was divine is not testing you really with temptation. Satan is testing you, or the negative energies is testing you with temptation, because that's like the bottom chakra of that shit. But divine is testing you with your choices. Like, can you make the right choice and the right decisions at the right time? Divine is like the ultimate mother and father. You know what I'm saying? Divine is going to put you with a circumstance to see if you choose to do the right thing at the right time. That doesn't take power. That doesn't take magic. You see what I'm saying? How many times have you done the right thing? How many times have you done the wrong thing? And you out here trying to manipulate a value to accumulate something for yourself, when in fact you're being tested every day for the same thing. Come on. Every day divine is testing everybody to see if you're going to do or line up with the energy that particular source of energy puts out, so I can give you more responsibility. But yet you think you're going to manipulate a value that's already set for the motion to comprehend. This is not your level of intelligence. This is where intelligence comes from. This is why y'all don't comprehend none of this shit. That's why y'all don't comprehend it. That's why y'all don't get it. Y'all think this is something that someone has. This is obtained. It's obtained by discipline. It's always been around like a Rubik's Cube, but you just play with that Rubik's Cube for so long, you get nice with it. That means you was dedicated to playing with it. Are you dedicated to listening to the divine? People want to know what I know because they're afraid of their consequence. Shit, you don't need to be afraid of me about the consequence. Whatever divine gonna do is already set in stone. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Your choices already set you in the motion of whatever detriment that's coming to you by the hand of the Most High. That ain't got nothing to do with me. What I'm speaking on ain't going to direct you towards or away from any of that value. And there's no way to jump in and jump out. You have a set of choices that divine watches you every minute of the day. Whether what you saying out your mouth, the thoughts you have in your body, the initial intuitions that you're dealing with that you respond to or you don't. That's how divine guides everything. That's how divine judges everything. Your higher self watches everything you do every millisecond of the day. That shit ain't got nothing to do with me. Worrying about what I know, that ain't gonna help you. No way, shape, or how. That ain't gonna help you. Whatever detriment that people have coming to them in their life, it was by their own choices. And ultimately, whether you want to know that how bad or whatever situation, that's on the level of what you were doing. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. And for some reason, it's like divine is trying to get me to stop giving out, because I'm telling some good shit right now, but it's enough. It's enough. But look, I don't make the mistake. You know what I'm saying? I don't make the mistake. I just listen. There's nothing that I can say or do that's going to change the value of how you are as an individual. You as a person is how you move. Being sneaky in that value, thinking that if I move quiet or I can get away with this, that don't happen in this universe. Your higher self records everything you do. There's always an observer that exists. That's why we're not multiplying into 10. This is why you can't throw a piece of gold in the air and not look at it and it falls down like golden change. This is why quantum physics is not an actual reality to emotion. It's something that happens when you're not observing. Understand etheric science. They'll tell you all this shit. I don't make this up. I studied it. I understand a little bit of it, you know what I'm saying? But I comprehend the value of its existence. So even with the natural law of the universe, this plays a role. You are never combating me. Never in your life are you combating me. When you see me, you see a reflection. I am water and I'm calm. So when you look in still water, what do you see? Your own face. You don't see me. You never see me. You just mad at what you truly are at your own option. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You are your worst enemy. By your deepest thoughts, your deepest desires inside of you. All your secrets that you have, like that's you are your own biggest enemy. And because you do these things, it's like, you know, people be in relationships and shit, and they be like, yo, this motherfucker gonna cheat is so much, you blaming the other person for cheating. Because it's just coming out naturally. Because you afraid, you know what I'm saying, that whole value. It works the same way with the universe. You do so much dirt in the world, you think somebody else is gonna get you in trouble because you really believe that you're hiding what you're doing. The universe don't work like that. Everything is electrical synapses. So even when you think you got away with something, nah, you transmuted that mail already. Whether a person is strong enough in their mind to read that and be capable to say, well, you know what I felt, I know what I picked up, that's up to that individual as far as how they handle pulling in frequencies. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Your actions is what's going to get you in trouble. This is why walking righteous will keep you straight, so that you ain't got to worry about nothing coming back at you if you ain't really doing it. I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I ain't even talking about nothing, man. It's NAGA right here.